Darren, calm down. Eyes this way. Calm down. We need to talk about Sonic. Now, when I was a kid, you were either a Mario kid or a Sonic kid, and I was definitely in the Sonic camp. The skills learned playing those games have stayed with me for my whole life of gaming. All those jumping and skills and the dexterity and the platforming, it's helped me for a long time.
Well, finally, after a long period of being horribly mistreated and playing sidekick to a host of other characters, Sonic is finally back in form with Sonic Generations.
Generation starts with our favourite Blue Blur on his way to his surprise birthday party where all his friends have gathered to celebrate. Surprise! But storm clouds are on the horizon in the form of an unknown force that has something to do with time.
Before he can even finish his hot dog, this time monster kidnaps all of Sonic's friends, and he must journey into different portals and restore time and space in order to rescue them.
It's not the sort of story you're going to need to follow very closely, but then again, I don't think the developers were intending to create a complex narrative with twists and turns at every corner. But that said, it's a solid story that really treats Sonic with the amount of respect he deserves, I think.
Very quickly, you find yourself in Limbo, which is your gateway to 9 different story missions, which have 2 playthroughs, as Classic Sonic and as Modern Sonic. As Classic Sonic, you play in the familiar 2D side-scrolling platform, breaking item boxes, jumping ledges, and speeding your way around newly designed worlds from Sonic's past.
As New Sonic, you play through the world in a 3D homing attack format, which is much faster and has a lot more to dodge and swerve through.
Each level is quite short, but you may find that this is actually a good thing, because if you haven't played a lot of Sonic, then you'll probably die often. As soon as you're out of lives, bang, you're all the way back to the start of that level, which I did find frustrating at first.
Yeah, but that's what Sonic's all about. You need to die a few times so you can learn the levels and work out which path to take, and each time you progress a little further, and when you finally get to the end, you just get such a great sense of satisfaction.
Yeah, Sonic has always been about speed and getting a continuous run going, which does cause for some very intense moments, particularly in the 3D levels where you do come to a sudden stop and sometimes have to backtrack a little in order to build up your speed again to make a jump or escape a crumbling building.
As you progress through the story missions, you'll unlock various challenge courses. This is where you'll get to interact with Sonic's friends by either racing them to the finish line or enlisting their help in order to complete a challenge.
You don't need to finish all these to finish the game, but it's a great way to collect more rings so you can level up. Things you can level up include more sure footing and faster sneakers, which help on the later, more difficult levels. It's nice to be able to level up Sonic. I don't remember having been able to do that before.
If you're feeling particularly nostalgic, collecting enough rings will also allow you to play Sonic on an unlockable Sega Mega Drive emulator. This brought back many fond memories for me, Barger.
Yeah, me too, Darren. And I think it's the developers saying, thank you for sticking with Sonic so long and really recognising the history of Sonic and how important it is to us.
Yeah, but guys, didn't you find the controls a little bit too sensitive? Sometimes I just wanted to get a better look at where I was heading or what platform I needed to jump to, but just by looking around and getting a sense of my surroundings, I ended up falling. But, maybe I just need a bit more time with it.
Yeah, I still don't like how Sonic stops when you let go of the stick, It doesn't have that momentum, which was such a big component of the original games, but I'm starting to get used to that because everything else in this game is so good. Such as the visuals, it's such a good-looking Sonic game. The different worlds really grow full of colour and depth as you zoom past, and when you first hear those classic themes remixed, it did make me feel like a kid all over again, which is just what I wanted from this game.
Sonic is vulnerable after he attacks.
And if you are a Sonic fan, you will appreciate all the little references there to the earlier games, which kind of make fun of how crazy they got.
Yeah, I did find that quite funny. It's almost as if the developers were saying, yeah, we know some of those previous games weren't that great.
No stranger than rescuing genies in magic books or saving aliens in an interstellar amusement park.
But let's wrap this up. I think if you're new to Sonic, you can still get drawn into this game because it's just a well-made game, and it's good to see Sonic back in form after so many years of not really being in form. I'm giving it 8 out of 10 rubber chickens.
This really is platforming from another era, so if you haven't played a Sonic game in a long time, then you may find the learning curve a little bit steep. But once you get going, I think you're gonna love it, so I'm giving it 8 out of 10 rubber chickens. Well, I'm off to read the news.
I still can't get over this fact that we agreed on something so heavily, Darren.
Well, even a stopped clock is right twice a day. I'm referring to you.
I don't understand.